Hello and welcome to the Wolf of Future Street. It was the beginning of 2020, just before the onset of COVID, that I had decided to give up swiping on my Robinhood app and start learning how to trade. I looked at some charts, I looked at MACD and RSI, and I thought, well, this is easy. I will become the Wolf of Wall Street in no time. Set up a nice chair, fix up a few drinks, press a few buttons, and that's it. I arrived. And that's when the struggle started. Uh, Indicators, scanners, figuring out your edge, swing trading, scalp trading, gurus, gurus, blah blah blah. And then to add to that, I stumbled upon online prop firms, trade their capital, not mine, and share profits. And I thought, amazing. And the rest, as they would say, is history. So, my first episode of The Wolf of Future Street is going to actually talk about futures firms, and especially the fact that many of us ask ourselves which futures prop firm is suitable for me, the best for me. And as we go through the process of this video and the next and the next and the next, my endeavor is to share my learnings and hope that this endeavor encourages more people to share their own, and as a result, help all of us retail traders. So, without any further waste of time, let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about online futures platforms. And there are more than a dozen of them, right? You all know them. Apex, TopStep, Take Profit, Tick, Bullinox, On to Trade, the list goes on. But the question again remains, which one is the right for me? And to sort out this confusion in true trader style, I have been able to isolate some patterns of these futures prop firms. I've been able to siphon off the parameters and the confusing rules and come up with three interesting patterns in which all of these prop firms tend to set up their business framework. And no, I haven't used Fibonacci's or channels or support and resistances to figure these patterns out. And yes, these are my own observations based on literally signing up for the evaluations, failing a ton of evaluations, passing evaluations, and then failing funding, getting to through withdrawals, and then blowing funded accounts, and then getting onto some form of consistency over the last 4 years. So yes, there is a fair amount of pain and suffering that has gone through in figuring out the patterns that these prop firms fall into. Three patterns. And what are these? So let's go to number one. Pattern number one, again in true trader style, is what I call the Lambo. So let me introduce you all to my first pattern, the Lambo. And here are the companies that classify as the Lambos. They are basically Apex, Bullinox, Tick, Liu, and my funded futures. So the question is, why would I call them Lambos? Well, when you take up their evaluations, they basically hand you over the keys to a Lambo. All the rules designed to make you push the throttle hard and get to the finish line as soon as possible. The finish line, of course, can be pass or You know it, blow up, YOLO into a trade to reach the finish line. Of course, some responsible, mature trader will argue that hey, you got to ignore all of those Lambo rules and chart out a slow course. But how often does that actually happen? We all know, I guess. But hold on, that is not the full story. The story gets better here. As soon as you YOLO and get to the funded stage, what happens? Well, what happens next is they take away the keys of the Lambo and give you the keys to a small scooter. Is that not odd, funny, or weird? Well, I would rather have you decide. But then let's go to the next pattern. I call the second pattern the Beamer or the BMW, as people know it. I think you may see the picture here or where I am heading. And now we have companies like Top Step, Take Profit, New Profit, Blue Sky, My Funded Futures, who have some rules to check on your driving skills, but they too want you to drive fairly fast, or at least have enough power in the engine to push and accelerate and reach the finish line quickly, meaning you pass quickly or you blow out quickly. And when you pass, of course, they will take away the keys of that Beamer and hand you a modest Corolla. It's nice, but it was not like the Beamer for sure. And that leads me to the third pattern of these prop firms. And I call that pattern the scooter. And on to trade and trade day fall into the scooter pattern. They don't want you to show how fast you can drive the Lambo. They don't even want you to show your Beamer driving skills. All they want you to do is to show them that you know how to drive slowly, that you will wear a seatbelt or a helmet when you drive, and that you can drive regularly, consistently, day after day without doing any monkey business. And when you eventually show them that you can drive a vehicle slowly and with all the cautions necessary, they will replace that scooter to a modest Volkswagen Golf, possibly. So then you would say, well, what's the answer of which one is the best for me, right? And I would say you need to first sit down and assess your own skill levels. Now that we appreciate the three patterns of the futures companies, it's upon each of us to assess which stage of our trading journey are we at. Are we a year or less into this challenging journey? A few years in, possibly? Are we good at scalping? What kind of trading distributions do we follow? Do we have a stop loss defined? Do we have a daily loss defined? Do we like to trade micros or do we only like to trade minis? This self assessment is extremely important to determine which funding company is best for me or for you. And as they say, horses for courses. So the point is, when you want to look for the right futures funding company, you need to assess yourself whether you can crawl, whether you can walk, or are you ready to now run. Basis that, you then figure out whether you then need a scooter, a Beamer, or a Lambo. The skills of a retail trader will increase over a period of time. So why should funding programs work any differently? Learn to ride a scooter first, move to a modest car, and then keep moving as you progress. There is time and place for each of these funding companies, to be fairly honest. And given the nature of the industry, even at the peak of your success, you will need to keep a scooter or two, even if your garage is loaded with Lambos and Beamers. The answer to which funding company is best for you is an answer you will know if you assess your own trading skills in an unbiased way. And then you will then make the right choice. So I hope that it makes sense to you guys. And what I will do in the next episode is talk to you about some of your favorite YouTubers who trade pretty much live every day and share with you my observations of how they have used the scooters, Beamers, and Lambos to reach the destination that they are at today and how far are they planning to go. I hope you like this video, and if you do, keep fighting the markets and keep hitting hard the subscribe and like button, just like Superman did onto my channel. Thank you.